Welcome back to the Relentless Runners podcast. I'm your co-host, Christine.
And I'm Toni.
And we are the co-founders of Relentless Runners. We're an online run coaching team that provides one-on-one run coaching with a team of over 10 coaches, a registered dietitian, a strength and conditioning coach, and a clinical psychologist who teaches our athletes all about mindset. And we really wanted to bring our running knowledge here to you so that you can follow along, learn, and grow as a runner. As always, check our show notes where you can find more ways to find us online, on Instagram, and the coaching that we offer.
Whoop, whoop. And today we're just doing Corral Chronicles because me and Christine were texting yesterday and we're like, yeah, so what's our podcast topic today? And we didn't have any. We don't have it
We
planned
didn't prepare
yet.
well enough. So,
But we'll get the next few weeks planned for you guys. That's on our to-do list for this week, but it's okay. We're just going to talk today about our running. I kind of want to talk about the spring gel drama a little bit too,
sure.
which I first heard about through Amanda and Nick, who have their podcast Between Two Coaches. I first heard about it through them and I was like,
oh, really?
Wait a second, how did I not hear this?
Yeah, how did you miss that?
I don't know how I missed it. And then after that, I was like, holy shit. And then when I watched the whole video of where it all began with the guy who did the testing. But yeah, first tell me about how your last week has been going. What's happening? What you up to? What'd you do today?
So running's been good. Since we chatted on the podcast last week, which was last Tuesday, I had a workout on Wednesday. I had a workout on Saturday. And they all went really well. I can't remember what I did on my Wednesday workout. I'm going to go look. That was the 300 workout. Yeah. So I did 10 times 300s. That was a good workout, way faster than what I was supposed to do for literally every single one of them, but whatever. I was just super speedy that day. And then
200s. I feel like the shorter stuff, even 300s, it's an elongated 200. That's always hard to pull back.
And
when
that's
you're
what she said. She's
girly.
I'm totally the short, fast stuff is definitely my strength. And yeah. So that was a good workout. And then I did on my workout was really good for my long run. I did 11 miles on Saturday, and it was 3 times 2 miles at 7:40 with a mile, just easy effort, endurance effort in between. And it was really good. I got, 7:40s for everything. And it was really just kind of a chill run. It wasn't taxing. It was just kind of I'm obviously working, it's not 7:40 isn't an easy pace, but it wasn't a stretch. It was just kind of
smoother.
Yeah. It was super smooth and fluid and strong. I think fluid was the word that I used when I was commenting in VDOT to Carly, just being this feels super fluid and strong. It was easy to just kind of go up and down. It was easy to find the pace. It was easy to hold the pace, and it just felt really good. Because now that it's warmer, so I did well with fueling. I think it's sitting on my front porch right now. I just ordered some more Scratch and UCAN because I was out of both of those. I had I don't even know if it was a full scoop for that water bottle for that long run, but I was I'll take what I can get. And so my water bottle is 17 ounces or so. But I mean, I'd finish it within 8 miles usually. And
it's crazy how quickly it goes once it gets warmer out. It's
oh yeah.
I got through my 18 ounce a few weeks ago. It was an hour run. And I was well, I'm probably going to be thirsty. I'll just bring something. And I went through it in an hour, easy. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. So I was telling Bobby, I was cause not this past weekend, but the weekend before, he met me out on the run with the boys and the kids and the bikes. And I was well, maybe you can just do this every weekend now and bring me another water bottle. He's don't get used to that. I was okay, but that would be so nice.
Come on.
I know. I was I have athletes and friends who they always have someone with them when I'm always running alone. I'm always alone. And they have their significant other friend on a bike riding with them. And I'm oh, that must be so nice to just have someone bring the fuel and the water and you don't have to worry about it. But I don't have that luxury. But I'm maybe you can start doing this for me because, my long runs are just going to continue building from here with, the marathon in January and stuff. And so I am going to need more. So I either have to, I bought another water bottle. Remember I bought a second water. actually like a third water bottle when we ran Houston, and I threw it on the course.
Yep.
And then I had like thrown away my old one because I was like, this is kind of old. I'm just going to throw this away.
Sure. There's a point where it's like, just
it was done. It was like time to go.
Yeah.
And I bought 2 new ones off of Amazon. I used one for the race. I threw it, and now I have just one now. And so I'm like, well, maybe I should just buy another one. And then even if I have to map out my course where it's in my driveway and I just toss, because I can do that if he like refuses to come and find me. But
sure.
What I have been doing,
if you can't commit to the schedule every week, then I guess you'll have to figure it out on your own.
He won't. I might get every other weekend out of him, but I'm going to have a backup plan. So, but I tend to throw my gel wrappers like the last 2 weekends. Just where I plan out my routes, I sometimes run past my house after I've had my first gel. And instead of shoving it back in my water bottle, because I can't just like throw it on the ground.
Sure. Yeah.
I hold it because I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to pass my house. And so I run by and I just
like
chuck it into my driveway. And the first time Bobby was like, what is that? Because I walked back in and I forgot to pick it up, and it was just chilling in my driveway. And because what I've realized with my gel is because it's maple syrup, so I take untapped.
Yeah.
If it gets like on my skin and then I like keep going, it like crystallizes and it turns white.
Oh my gosh.
So
that makes total sense.
And I didn't know it would do that until I accidentally, like, I got it all over my hand one time, and I must have like wiped it on my thigh that was just bare skin. And when I didn't even realize it until I was done with my run. And when I came back inside, I had this like white streak, like where my fingers like streaked the syrup like down my leg. And I was like, what the heck is that? And it was the syrup. So I like trying to like not make a complete disaster. And sorry, my mom just called me. So anyways, I'm going to have to come up with a plan, because back to the run itself, like the run was great, but I was thirsty by the end because I had 1 mile cool down. So for those last like 2 miles at 7:40, and then I had so those last 3 miles, like I didn't have any water, and I was just like, I'm like, I was literally thinking on my run, like, I envy the people who have like a water fountain that they go and fill their water bottles up. I'm like, where can I do that? I was like thinking, where can I do that?
Because it literally is just parks that have that. This one park that is like in Pittsburgh, it's called North Park. But they have it like in the winter time, the water fountains are obviously like they close them or shut them off. But they have like a couple scattered like throughout along the 5 mile loop, which is nice for refilling. And then even then, like if you park at like the main parking lot at the boathouse, which it's just a massive parking lot, like you can like I've left like my handhelds, like my refill like thing I'm going to refill like on the back of my car to swap out. Or even I've done it if I've had like I used to have like a gallon like jug, I would put ice water in there. Or even if I'm doing like scratch or something, like in a water like or in a bottle underneath my car, so it's in the shade and I can easily just like refill. It is convenient, but unfortunately, like when you live in a place like you, like where it's just like more of a rural area. It just makes it really difficult. I
know. I was like, I could go into McDonald's. Maybe they would fill my water bottle.
There's this.
You think they would?
Yeah, there's this one girl who I follow on Instagram. I forget what her name is, but she stops into like a McDonald's or like a gas station, just gets like cups of water. So you could do something like that. They usually water, like a cup of water is free.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I could do that because there's the McDonald's in town is like right in the center of where I tend to do like loops.
Yeah. And you can always map it, like just like how you would map it out. Like, of course, mapping it out so you can stop at your house to get stuff. But if your normal loop like goes past
it's over by McDonald's.
You could always,
by the time I need the water, I'm not by my house. Like by the time I would need it.
And that's like annoying. This is the hard part about like summer running is like the needs for water is so like high. Because even around here, when I run around here, like, and we have paths like in Pittsburgh, but like there's one water fountain, like down at the point where there's that big fountain. They have like bathrooms and there's a fountain, like water fountain there. And then there's one other one on the other side of the river, like down, it's called Millville, but it's like down towards the edge of one of the ends of the path. But that one's a hit or miss if it's like open or not. And I never trust it. Same with the bathrooms, like just around here. It's very like unpredictable, which is like hard. You need bathrooms and you need water in the summertime. But yeah, which speaking of Scratch, I may have a code for everyone soon, which I'm excited. They had just like, I'd been as you know, we're both lovers of Scratch, but they had just messaged me on Instagram and I just have to like actually fill out all of my information, but I will have a 20% discount code for you guys. So once I actually do that this week, next week we can add, I don't know if it'll be a link or just like an actual, I'm sure it'll be like a code of some sort. We can add that in the notes since we talk about Scratch every day.
Yeah, I do.
Especially right now. Our team call last week was all about heat training. We talked about, I love those. Like that was actually a really good one too. But we talked all about like how you can fuel differently on your runs to help just like feel better as you're getting like acclimated to the heat and humidity. But yeah, so many plugs to all the different nutrition fuelings. But
I mean, it's plugs, but it's not plugs that we get like compensated for. Well, now you might get like a commission
affiliate,
but like but like leading up to this, these are just things that we use. They're not you know, we're not, it's not like a sponsor, it's just stuff we use, but
we just use it.
But
I'm glad everything's going well. So what's next for you? So you have Boilermaker coming up next month. Don't you have a 5K coming up?
Yeah, I have a 5K before that on July 4th.
Yay.
I was just thinking this morning that I need to sign up for it. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to kind of like sprint and probably die, but I'm just going to like go for it.
Why not?
Yeah.
That'll be like a rust buster.
Triple. Yeah, I haven't raced a 5K since November. And that was the time that my shoelaces came untied. Oh my God, I can't talk. My shoelaces came untied. And
my brain is like shut off today.
I know.
Full transparency.
It's like 87 degrees out, which my Texas girl is Jen. I know it's not as hot as what she did. She messaged me on Instagram when I said yesterday how it was like 97% humidity. She was like, ha 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 ha. Like, she's in Texas and she's just like already dying in the heat. I'm like, all right, I know.
She's like, I've been dying since April and March.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
But yeah, I think I need more water or something. But anyways, that was the race that my shoelaces came untied. So I will make sure that I triple tie my shoes, guys, everybody. Okay.
Oh, Steven, one of our, I feel like he's our top listener. He DM'd me. He's like, did anybody ever buy her shoes? And I was like, I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
Not a single person asked me about them.
You don't want carbon plated shoes
that have less than 20 miles on them, and I think I might wear them for the 5K.
I think that's a good call. I think you'll be fine if you stick with them for shorter races.
Just for 5. Yeah. I won't wear them for anything longer than that, I don't think, because like if I were to do a 10K, I'll just use my Saucony ones.
The speeds, the
endorphin
speeds. How have you been feeling, by the way? Like actually, now that you've had a couple workouts, especially the long run workout, I'm curious.
Yeah. So backstory, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I did 11 miles and there was pace work in it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like a hard run. And by the end, like my feet, how to describe it? The bottoms of my feet just felt like I had been slapping pavement for an hour and a half. Like it was just, it wasn't like something was hurting. It was just, they felt like
tired.
Just like I'd been slapping pavement. I don't really know how else to describe it. And so all day long, I made like my UFOs were amazing. Another plug that I don't get commissioned for, but I love UFOs, guys. I had my UFOs, and I was just like walking on clouds, And so those felt really good because without them, like my feet just felt super achy to like walk around. And so I had messaged you, Toni, and I was like asking, and I was like, maybe it's the socks because apparently I think I'm really sensitive to the socks that I choose because if I usually use either Features or Belega. Is that how you say Belega? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
And if I use anything that's like a knockoff brand or like maybe something else, I either get blisters or something feels off. Okay. So I did not wear either of those brands. I think it was like an old Brooks brand, but they were like taller crew socks. I don't know. Or taller socks. And then I wore them for my speed workout and then I wore them at the track and then I wore them on Saturday for my 11 miler. and everything felt fine. Like,
interesting.
It didn't hurt. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was the socks because it was hot. It wasn't like my feet were swollen the week before, but not this weekend. Like it was just as warm, just as humid. But no, they're fine. So I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to keep using them. I know, because I was like, please, I don't want to like figure this out again. Like, so no, they're good. I think I'll probably wear them for like Boilermaker too. So yeah, so I've got the 5K and then Boilermaker, and then that's it. And I was actually just talking to Carly about, like after Boilermaker, I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off. So I'll take 1 full week off. So we were trying to figure out the timing of this. And I was like, well, might as well do it. Like she asked me, like she recommended the week after Boilermaker. I'm like, okay, let's just do that. Yeah. Middle of July. It's going to be hot anyways. So I'll take 1 week off in July right after Boilermaker. And then the week after that will be like 10 to 15 miles. So super low.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll go back into it and kind of build for another, that would be like 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. And then at the end of September, marathon training will start. But she wants me to take another down week, like the week before marathon training starts. She's like, I don't want you to get burnt out. We're really going to like, we're going to work hard until September, but like we're going to have all these down weeks of like
so
legit
smart.
no running.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking forward I'm like half looking forward to that, half not, just because, you know, I like to run every day.
Yeah.
But I did ask her, I was like, should I find any other races to go in there anywhere? And she said, if I wanted to find something like before, what did she say? Like any other 5Ks up to the end of September before marathon training starts, like I could. So, and then anything after the end of September when I'm officially in training, we would just have to be a little bit more strategic about it. So she's like, if you could find a 10 miler, or she said even a 10K, like I think it was like 6 weeks out. I'm like, okay, well, I know I did the 10K in prep for Houston half, which was on Thanksgiving.
Oh, right.
And I could do that. I mean, that's it.
Great.
Yeah, it was great timing. It was a hilly 10K. And I'm like, do I want, like, so I asked her, I'm waiting to hear back from her. I was like, does that matter? Like, because like, if you want it to be like flat and fast, then I need to find a different one. And like, I don't have many options. Like, I don't know of a 10 miler. That's not to say they're not around here somewhere. I just told her too, I'm not going to travel anywhere. Like if I'm going to do something, it's got to be local. So
yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah, I got to look, but nothing like, there are some local half marathons. There's one in a couple of towns over that I just discovered. Actually, I think like 6 months ago, I discovered it's in like another small town like mine, but it's the Jello half marathon. Apparently
the Jello,
I think they must be like the founders of Jello out there or something.
Why
because
else would
like
you call it?
Here where I live, we've got like Craft, so like where Cool Whip is like made. So it's like maybe they're the Jello town and we're the Cool Whip town. I don't know. So I have no idea what that course is like though. If it's like, I have no idea. It's going to be small. So maybe something. But right now, the only thing is the 5K on the 4th and then Boilermaker. And again, Boilermaker, I just want a course PR. I'm not going to like go crazy.
It's so like
it's a fun, it's a hard course. It's a hard, hot day. So I'm just going to go and kind of like have fun, but I am going to like push myself a little bit to course PR. So
yeah, that'll be awesome. I'm excited for you. That's exciting. That's nice too that you have like, just like a clear picture on what to expect for the rest of the year going into and the transition into Houston training. And that should I'm sure like makes you more excited just knowing like, okay, this is like when I am going to have downtime, because I think sometimes when you're not like, you don't have necessarily a goal race. Well, we kind of did, but that didn't work out. But now that things have shifted and there's not necessarily a goal race like before you start Houston training, just to know that you still have those breaks can be really nice, where it's like, okay, I do work hard for the next X amount of weeks, and then this is like when that like season kind of closes and then going into the next one. So I'm excited for you.
And it was really helpful I know we had like talked about this email that Carly sent like last week on the podcast, but the way that she mapped it out, being able to see like the next like 6 months of, you know, she was very specific about like, these weeks, I want you to be doing this. These weeks I want your mileage to get up to like 38 to 40. And then like, this is all before like leading up to marathon training. Yeah. And so it was like, okay, so like being able to see that kind of gave me that. And I mean, I don't skip runs. Like I pretty much get the mileage done, but it kind of like gave me that extra edge of like, okay, I want to make sure I'm hitting my mileage all now. That way I can do exactly what she has laid out. Because I do have a big goal for this marathon and I want to do everything I can now to hit it. And I actually just the other day was starting to like shift my mindset a little bit of like, okay, I'm training for a 5K. I'm training for Boilermaker. I don't have, we're not doing grandmas anymore. So I've just kind of got like nothing really right now. But then I had to like remind myself like, well, no, like, yeah, I might not be officially in marathon training for Houston, but that everything that I'm doing right now is preparation for that training cycle. And I'm like, I'm trying to like remind myself like all the strength that I'm doing now, like I'm doing so much strength training right now. And like all the workouts, I'm like, I'm still putting in a lot of miles, like, and like, I'm still doing the work that is going to then translate into the marathon cycle. And that is like, I had to remind myself of that the other day of like, well, no, like, yeah, I'm having fun. I'm not like in the thick of it, but I'm still working towards my goal right now.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Woohoo.
Sure. How about you?
Well, I did hear back from Carly about my when I had emailed her about just to tell her about London, which I was very excited. And then just the plan for the rest of the year, because again, if you didn't listen last week, I was just asking her like what kind of makes the most sense. Similar to you, I don't want to travel for a race this year, like the rest of the year, just because I have two big travels. We actually booked our tickets or flights to go to London at the end of August, which I'm really excited about. It's like mid to end of August, but I can't wait for that. And then with going back there next April, I just want to like chill and stay here. So I had shared with her just the different races that were around here and just picked her brain on like what is going to mostly like set me up for success, like going into that training cycle for the full marathon. So she was just saying like between the access that I have to a 10 miler, 10Ks, 5Ks, even like a 1 mile race, which I don't know if I'll do that like next month, but even then like the other distances, like there's so many. And she was like, that's kind of like a perfect like trio of like what you would want, like what we can prioritize going into like right now for the rest of the year going into what's it called? Marathon training. So I was like, sweet. So we're not making any decisions. I'm just going to kind of continue to see how everything is like feeling ankles wise, which I'll get into in a second. But there is like a 10 miler that there's also a 10K option in November, which is nice. There's also a 10K and with a 5K option at the end of September. And then another 5K that is, I think it's like not end of August. That may be like, it's another, like one of the other months, but there's just like tons of options, which has me like pumped. And I'm just in this like very chill mindset, I think, because I keep thinking about, and Will made me record myself last night. So I told him, I was like, I honestly would even be fine with like not racing the rest of the year. And he was like, I need you to like record this. And I was like, no. And he's like, no. So I got my phone out. I should play it. But it was 1 minute. And I was like, it is June 3rd at 10:31 p.m. And I was like, I am stating that I would be fine with not racing for the rest of the year and just wait until training. He's like, I don't believe you. But again, like we're just going to like wait and see how things go. What's nice about the 10 milers, because it's a local race, like we don't need to like, I don't need to sign up. It's not going to like sell out anytime soon. So I can just kind of wait and see how things go. Cause honestly, part of me, I'm like, yeah, a 10 miler would be awesome. I do really like that distance. It's probably one of my favorite distances to race. And the one in Pittsburgh is cool because it's the first like 9 miles of the main like half marathon course and the marathon course, but like backwards. So you get to like run, through the city. So there are like rolling hills. We're the same way here where we don't just have like a flat pancake course for things. But still it's like, it's enough to where you can still like run it pretty hard. But they just added the 10K option recently. So I'm just gonna like wait and see how I feel about things. But I did identify that, I don't know if I've shared this on here, but I've been learning how to golf. So I started learning back in May? It was May. I did like a 4-week clinic. It was like 1 hour a week for 4 weeks. And I really have been enjoying it so much. And what I did learn though is just from the rotation, it does like aggravate my ankle a little bit. So I've had to like let things calm down for the last few days. Yeah, it was weird because I had that week where I was totally fine. Like felt great during my runs, felt recovered after, like didn't notice anything at all. And I had ran like almost 20 miles that week. And then I had done my longer run, which was 7 miles on a Saturday. Sunday, I went to go play. And that was like the most I had played since I started like learning how to golf. And then going into my run on Monday, all of a sudden I just like noticed my ankle like earlier on in the run. And I did have stride or surges or strides. I think it was more strides. And they felt fine. But then later on in the day, my ankle was like achy a little bit. So I was like, what the heck? That's weird. I guess it's a new stressor. I like had picked up the pace a little bit. So initially I thought it was that. And then when I talked to Lauren and had went to golf, for fun, but like a couple hours, like Wednesday night when I saw her on Thursday again, it was like achy again on Thursday. I'm like, what the heck? Like I was fine. And then it was the end of a 5-mile run. I noticed it, that she was like, yeah, I think it's just the golf, and just like anything, it's a new stressor. So you just have to like be mindful of mapping things out. So I was kind of annoyed because I really like am enjoying golf so much. So I think that's where I'm in this like weird place of like, I am prioritizing my running, but at the same time, I do want to still prioritize golf. Like it's a hobby that I'm really loving and I enjoy doing it with Will. So I'm just kind of like trying to like go with the flow. I took a couple days off to let it calm down. I was going to run today, because it feels like I woke up feeling fine, didn't notice anything when I stepped out of bed. But something that Carly like has said to me in the past that I always love is take a day more than you think you need. So I'm like, I'm just going to take today. I'm in no rush. And then I'll do like a run tomorrow. But it was good. Like in the meantime, like I went on a hot girl walk yesterday for like 45 minutes. And then I've been like going and doing some lifting and stuff. So I'm like very calm about everything. And again, that is the beauty of not having like an official timeline for anything. Like I am genuinely more concerned with being able to golf when we go to London. Like I want to be able to do that. But I think because I know you and I have talked about this before, but like fond memories that we have, like for you, it was last summer. For me, it was Florida, when I was in Florida in 2020, of just like focusing on speed and not really like training for a race. Like we were just happy doing that. And so my thought process was like, if I like don't have a goal race like in the fall and I am just focusing on, again, how Carly shared with you, like those, like it's very like intentional training and that's what I'm doing. Like I genuinely would be happy with that. So I'm just going to like see how things continue to go and feel and go from there. But yeah, I'm hopeful that this week things will get like back on track though.
With so interesting. That like sucks. Yeah. It's like, man, like you find this fun hobby that you can do with your husband and then it aggravates your running.
I know. Like, I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Because I didn't switch and learn left-handed.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe then it won't twist it the wrong way.
Yeah. The stabilizing. Will's like, you are freaking porcelain. Like, I was like, I know. I'm not proud of this at all. I'm so annoyed with my body. But, and part of me like wants to, so there's this, I'm sure people have heard of it and you probably have, but it's called Voltaren. So it's a cream, and you can put it over an area. Like if you have any like knee pain or whatever, you put the cream on, you have to use it regularly for, you know, it to like start working. But it helps with inflammation and stuff. And part of me wants to just like, I know it's worked for me in the past. And part of me is like, just do it. Mask the pain. I'm like, no, like, cause I was like, I just want to do all the things. I'm like, just use it. But I really am someone, and I think we talked about this last week because you said it, where it's like, I don't like taking things. Like I don't like taking Advil. Like I'll take stuff if I have to, of course, but like I avoid it. And even with my like physical stuff that I have going on, like I want to know what I'm feeling because I know like if I take any of that, it is like a false sense of this is feeling better. And I want to know if there's actual progress. So that's where like I was battling that in my head yesterday where I'm like, do I take it or do I start applying it last night? But I'm like, no, just like that way you actually know like how things are feeling. So and I just bought golf outfits.
Did you get a pleated skirt like you were talking about?
It's not pleated, but it's still cute. I got like 2 sizes to try them on. And then I got this cute like mock neck short sleeve. I have shoes for like, they're like turfs basically, like for when you go to like practice and everything. And I can still like wear them around. But yeah, I have my like starter golf set, like for my outfits. I'm like, I am so committed, guys. And I even told Will yesterday, I'm like, I would not be committed if I would have not purchased anything for myself if I wasn't like committed to this. But so yeah, we're very determined to not only get back to running, but like also be able to golf. And I really want to be able to golf in Europe. So yeah, we'll see. But
are you gonna bring your clubs, or would you like rent clubs there? Because that's like a really big thing to check.
I think that there's like a service. I'll have to ask Will.
I feel like you could probably rent. I mean, they're probably not.
Let me ask Will. Hold on.
Okay.
How do you send your clubs to Europe? Ship sticks.
Ship sticks. Okay.
Apparently, I guess it's a website, and you ship your golf clubs.
Sticks.
Ship sticks. I'm sure like all kinds of things. Yeah, but so that's how we would do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, very determined, not giving up. This is so funny too, because I'm normally like, when it comes to activities, I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm just not, whatever. Like, I'll just stop doing it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying golf. I was saying that to Will last night too, because it reminds me when I learned how to like ski over the wintertime. Like, I really love skiing, and I would be in that same place if I was really enjoying something. Like, I'm going to find a way to prioritize it. But this is very, very unlike me. So we'll see how it goes. But
I feel like golfing would be a little easier on the body than skiing would be. So out of the two, for sure.
Yeah,
go with golfing.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah. I was always scared to like, I did it growing up, but I was always scared to like do it in the last like several years, because I was like, I'm gonna hurt myself.
I would probably hurt myself. I grew up skiing. Like, I was in ski club.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I used to do it. I have not been since like I was probably 18. I don't even know. Like, it's been a long time, so I probably would.
You would pick it up quickly. I haven't skied since like 8th grade.
I would be literally
sore. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I
like
hadn't skied since 8th grade. Well, I snowboarded in middle school, but yeah, then I wanted to learn how to ski, and like I was so nervous, especially because skiing was like new to me, but I surprised myself with like when I first went down the bunny hill.
Yeah.
So I think that you would surprise yourself and you would be okay.
Maybe. Yeah. Bobby has no interest in the snow.
Yeah.
So if I went, it would
be
like,
you guys live in New York.
I know. Well, he's always trying to get us to move to Tennessee. So there's that.
You can just be neighbors with Audrey.
That's what he wants.
That's what he wants.
Goal. That is the goal. He wants to go and play golf with Q, and just,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, okay, we'll just, leave everybody up here and go to Tennessee.
Have a Tennessee home. Casual.
Yeah, right. Well, not in this freaking housing market. Maybe.
Oh God, for real.
If the rates change, we can have a second home. Anyways,
okay. Did you see the talking about the spring energy gel drama real quick? Did you see what the feed did?
No, what'd they do?
Oh my God, it was great. They sent out an email, and I wish I had it pulled up. I
can probably search it
because I saw somebody share it in their stories, and it said basically like, since spring energy, or since the Awesomesauce was giving you 50% of like what you're supposed to have, we're giving you 50% off of all of our Awesomesauce gels. And I was like, that is amazing.
That's so funny. I feel like I get so many emails from them right now.
I know.
I think it's because I have like my personal email, our Relentless Runners email, and then my Relentless Runners email. And so like I'll get like 3 right in a row, and I'm always like, oh my God, Matt from the feed.
Like, feed overload.
So many emails.
Yeah.
That is hilarious, and I really love that. And I'm like searching for it right now.
It makes me love them even more. But
were you a fan of them? Like, did you ever eat the Awesomesauce? Oh,
I did. I tried it. So it was like after my marathon, like when I was getting like building my mileage and stuff back up, I was like, this is a good time to test out some different things, because I've always used Martin. But during that marathon training cycle, I was only using Martin and salt caps and water. And I really wanted to work on getting used to having electrolytes in my handheld, so I didn't have to utilize just like salt caps, because Martin doesn't have a lot. I can't remember how much sodium, but I want to say it's like less than 50. So yeah, I was intrigued by Awesomesauce because Lauren, one of our coaches, who's also my athlete, but she, poor girl, like that's what she uses. Me.
She was like devastated.
Oh my God. I felt so bad for her. But she used it and she was like, it tastes so good. And I tried it and I was like, this is amazing. And I do remember when I was using that gel, and then I really like the taste of their gels, but another one, I was like, wow, there's 45 grams of carbs. This is awesome. And like more, sodium in it. And it was going down pretty easy. I'm like, oh, I'm surprised because I knew like I was able to work my way up to like I was steadily consuming 60 grams of carbs per hour for marathon training. And when I was able to like have more, I was like, crazy.
You expected some sort of
like
like learning curve almost.
Because that was a huge jump. And I was like, normally that's not the case. So I thought that was interesting, but I thought I was
that's
just
because you weren't actually
incredible. I was like, I'm so amazing.
My body is so efficient at digesting.
My body is so efficient at digesting. No big deal. But I'm not amazing. But I feel bad. And I was talking to my one athlete, Brittany, because she's like, shit, I have like bought like that's what she used too. And I felt so bad for her as well because she had like still good like race experiences and stuff. She were in New York City like last fall, but she was like, I just think about like how much better I would feel. And like all those long runs where I was just like so tired at the end of my runs. And like we obviously like we always talk with our athletes about like we check in on their fueling and like how that's going and all of that. And she's like, I thought I was doing everything right. And that just like makes me sad. But what she's doing and what I recommended for her in case anybody is kind of navigating the Awesomesauce drama and you're like, I have all these gels. And for her, she's like, I want to throw them away because I'm angry, but like it's a lot of money. So I'm going to keep them. So what I shared with her, like Scratch Labs is something that works really well for her. We talked about still using the gels. And now you have an idea of like how many grams of carbs are in there, which it's what, like 20? 18.
Yeah, something like
so
that.
now that you have that understanding, a scoop of Scratch, for example, has like 19 grams of carbs. So you could always like double up or add an extra scoop in your handheld if you're used to that type of like electrolyte drink mix or any drink mix that, you can have along with it. So that way, you're just still utilizing them and kind of working through it. Or of course, just consuming more gels per hour as well. But yeah, that way she's getting what she needs from like her half marathon training and stuff.
And for those who don't know, we didn't really like kind of start this conversation by telling what happened, but like really quick, the Awesomesauce claims that we didn't really like say what happened.
I just assumed everybody knew.
Well, so for anyone who doesn't know, Awesomesauce is a gel and it is claims on the label anyway that it has 45 grams of carbs. And so you can send anything into a third party to get it tested for the nutritional breakdown of it. And I think there's like at-home things that you can do too. Well, they did this with the Awesomesauce, and what they found was that it had significantly less amount of carbs than what the label said. It ended up coming back with like 18 to 20 grams of carbs as opposed to the 45 that it was claiming. And actually, Featherstone Nutrition, she did a really great breakdown on her Instagram.
She did.
About like how it doesn't make sense and how because it's claiming that it's got, I think, rice and
I'm pulling it up now while you're talking.
Apple puree and like stuff. And so if you look at the actual like one ingredient nutritional value of like rice, it shows you dry how many grams and how much it weighs. And so anyway, she breaks it down into a really easy way to understand like, wait, something's not adding up here. This doesn't look right. And so anyways, they did break it down in a lab and they were able to show that it actually did not like have even close to what the label was saying. So,
and multiple people did that because I think that in the main video, I forget the guy's name, where it was like long form video, where he really went through everything. There was like other people that were in other countries that were also doing the same thing and testing this because they were noticing like this doesn't like something just like isn't feeling right.
Like how can this be based on the weight and everything? And so Featherstone, she was basically like, if something's too good to be true, it probably is. So
because what did she say? She said an applesauce pouch is 54 grams of carbs. Yeah, she breaks down like
the ingredients of each one of the things,
the weight of it, of like, and how many grams of carbs are in it between basmati rice, which is one of the ingredients, applesauce. That I highly recommend this post too. This is like, it was crazy.
It was a good post, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, so I've tried it because
I thought it tasted great.
It tasted fine. Like, it was fine. It went down great. Like, it was easy. However, I really love the endurance tap. So what I take is maple syrup. And I was talking to Nick about it, and I was like, well, I really don't, because everyone's like, oh, well, what's my gel? Is my gel accurate? If it's not, like, what are the other brands? Like, are we going to test all these gels? And so I was like, well, I'm really riding on the fact that mine is accurate because it's just maple syrup. I'm like, how do you get that wrong? Right? Like, it is just maple syrup that I'm taking as my gel. So I'm really confident that this is like accurate.
You know how many, it's maple syrup. You know how heavy it is, like the amount that's in there. So it's not, it's like you can do, you're fine.
I have confidence in that.
How much is in Untapped? Like, how much in one gel, how many grams of carbs are in there?
It's
like is there sodium in there?
And there's only 5 milligrams of sodium. Okay. So there is like no sodium. But there's carbs. And actually, because I'm going to talk to you about this offline, because I wanted to ask you a question about sodium, like, per hour, because I took the salt tabs this week. I had just pulled out my bottle again, and I started taking them, and I felt great. Yeah. But so anyways, I tried Awesomesauce when I was training for Houston. I was like, okay, well, let me try it. And I tried it towards the tail end of my long run that I had. And I cramped really bad. And like, I did not finish my workout strong. I cramped, and I was like, okay, I don't know if it's because of that or not. Like, let me try something else. So I tried it again, like, the following week, and the same thing happened. And I was like, well, forget that. I'm not taking Awesomesauce anymore. So I stopped. And then I just went back to what I was doing with, like, all endurance or endurance Untapped.
Yeah. Untapped.
And there's two. They're basically the same thing.
Really?
There's endurance tap and Untapped. Endurance tap is what I used to take. It's way more expensive than Untapped. So I just do Untapped now.
Yeah.
And I didn't cramp after that. So I'm like, well, I don't like Awesomesauce. So I'm not doing that anymore.
No, I don't blame you. But yeah, it made me wonder too. I'm like, I want to look at everything.
I know. I feel like it would be interesting. I feel like people will start doing that. So,
for sure. Anything else that you want to talk about on the pod?
Nope. Because
any other thoughts, feelings, emotions?
No. And even if I did, I would say no, because I can hear Charlie in her crib yelling, "Mommy."
Okay.
Mom.
So our alarm is going off.
And we have to close this podcast out.
The CEO the CFO is telling us, shut the F up.
Yeah,
it's time.
Come and get me out of my bed.
Her needs. Well, thank you guys for being here. We will schedule out our ideas for the next, several weeks. If you ever have any ideas of things you would like us to talk about, let us know. And like Christine said earlier today, you could check out all the show notes to be able to follow us on our personal social media accounts to learn more about Relentless Runners. And as always, we appreciate your reviews. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast too, so you don't miss anything. And we will see you guys next time.